You're listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner.
Hey guys, this is Zoom the TBT, and this is Charge and Hayner as always, and we are doing our second episode this year. We're going to scrub the list. Now we're playing it pretty loose today. We're playing it pretty loose today because basically we're just trying to make sure that we're getting some of the information out because it's been a little bit more, you want to say a bit of a stranger outlet of information than years past. Charge, is that fair?
Yeah, I would say it's been very close to the vest this year. Obviously, when you go to 64 teams down to 14 teams, and the number of kind of people involved in the announcements, it's been a lot more controlled and a lot closer to the vest. So still piecing some pieces together.
Yeah, and because I am also our producer, I'm just making sure we're all live everywhere. So we are live tonight. So we have one guest coming on, hopefully. He should be here in about 15 minutes, and we'll bring him on when he comes on. And to all of our followers, viewers, thanks for joining us tonight. And we'll go from there. So, and if you have something to add in the chat, hit us on YouTube, hit us there. We'll see it. We'll talk about it if you have a question. Okay, so Charles, let's we didn't do my usual graphics today because we're still kind of feeling out what's happening. It's kind of hard to get a feel for it. So we're just going to actually cheat a little bit and use the website tonight, I think, which I think people will understand. We put the work in normally, but we're just trying to figure out what's going on a little bit this cycle. So we're going to go ahead and try to figure some things out. So let's start with the alumni teams first. We'll ask a few questions about them. So first of all, you've got the Bills starting to go a certain direction here, obviously. They have pretty much their roster seems to be set. Russ Smith's got a nice roster here. You see some switchable size, gotten a little younger. They have the home court for only one game. Charge, this seems like a credible team. They're together. This seems like a pretty good starting point for the Ville to start to maybe get some games in there, correct?
Yeah, no, I think they're coming along nicely. They're one of the most complete rosters right now. What's interesting, they haven't used or at least announced any of the non-alumni positions, which are allowed to have 4 of already. So it looks like a full commitment to getting Louisville guys in there. And I think as we get towards the end, maybe that changes a little bit. But, they got some younger players. I think you'll see that kind of swapping in here from kind of in the past years. They had some older guys or tenured folk, let's say.
That's like tenured folk. I like that, tenured folk. Yeah.
Shoulder to load. But, I think initial reviews on this team is good. And I think they have a lot of flexibility with their roster based on what we're seeing and what they could add.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some nice parts here. I think Russell obviously play a major role, but there's some pretty nice. You see a lot of guys like the 6'6", 6'7", 6'9". There's going to be some switchability here, so I kind of like that as sort of a roster building technique to see some varied size. So I think there's a positive start here. Now, I like what you said about the no Mercs there yet. Now you look at La Familia, who's done pretty well. I think the big story here is, you've got Cauley Stein's last ride, which is really interesting. He says he's going to retire after TBT. He's had a wonderful career. He's played very well, so all power to him. I think this is where your Merc comes in. Chris Coffey is quite the add. He's played with sideline cancer. He's a very multi-skilled big man. 6'8", can do a lot of things on ball, off ball. So what kind of an add does he add as a high-level Merc to this roster?
Yeah, no, he's got a really strong history in the TBT, and I think those are the type of players that some of these alumni teams are going to use to fill in some folks that are familiar, some folks with proven success that can really be versatile for them. The thing that's interesting, though, when I was looking at this roster is 3 of their 7 players are non-alumni players. So you got Sean McNeil, who's a charge guy on the side there, Chris Coffey, and James Bell. And so those are the 3 they have right now. So they only have 1 more left, and we got a little more than 3 weeks to go. So you have to assume these guys are pretty locked in, but they won't have a whole lot of room to play outside of getting more Kentucky guys behind them.
Yeah. I wonder if I doubt it. I wonder if Bledsoe might give him another run. I doubt he will, but that might be interesting. Also, back to Louisville, which is their partner, and we have a pod set up now. Their partner in Louisville, who wasn't on there is Montrezl Harrell, which I think last year was kind of a hard thing for him to do. I was there at Louisville when he did the twofer, which was amazing. Playing Big Three, which will be a recurring storyline in this tournament, is the Big Three influence. Playing the Big Three and the TBT in the same day, literally saying he got, and I still love the quote, he got on a PJ, meaning a private jet, to get there. It was one of the funniest things I've ever heard. But yeah, he played really, really well. The rest of his team let him down. He wasn't able to beat Silent Cancer last year. So seeing Louisville with Chris Coffey over there, seeing Chris Coffey there as the team that knocked out with Silent Cancer against Louisville will not help them sleep well. But let's kind of pause our thoughts because we have a separate guest on. Let's come back to the teams. We'll start this back up in a minute. But we'll go back to this team in a minute. Let's hide the teams for a minute. So let's go back to we have a surprise guest we weren't expecting. So first of all, we've made a lot of connections over the years. We have a lot of friends in this. We consider ourselves journalists, but kind of. But we're also fans. We border that line as like citizen journalists and also like fans. And we've made friends / covered / given crap to a lot of people in this community, and made some friendships. Also ruffled some feathers, been jackasses. So we've gotten to meet some really great people. So Charge, what was one of the most memorable runs last year, you think, in TBT?
Oh, I think I don't know who to guess this, so that's how we do it. But I'm assuming it's going to be one of the. Let me check the name.
If you don't know who the guest is, it means you know how to use our streaming software. By the way, I hope you're kidding because he's right there. You can see him if you look to the right or the left on there. I assume. You can
no, I'm not. I think you locked me out because I can't see the stream or the private chat. So I think you have me locked out.
Oh my god! Okay, well then fine. I'll give you a clue. We both went to a school of this type.
Oh, D3. Okay, I was gonna. Davis Steele is what first came to mind, but yeah,
that's true. It wasn't one of, not the most memorable. So
they were both memorable.
But they were. But you remember, like they won Coach of the Year because they were like a couple shots away from playing for the title. In fact, it was going to be in Louisville if Davis Steele / Eberline had made it. And I had a flight booked if they both made it. I was going to be there. But Coach Reg actually won Coach of the Year that year. And it's really funny because that team's not coming back. But, oddly enough, Coach Reg is. Hi, Coach.
Good to see you,
now I can see him. Now I can see him.
Hey,
what's a party without me, right? What's a party without me?
Good to see
you. We know
man.
that. That's the truth there.
By the way, this does not replace your responsibility to have a full show with us at some point. But thanks for crashing sort of our the thing show.
No worries.
So real quick, so how did you coaching Heartfire Elite come to be?
Yeah, I think largely rumor got out that we weren't going to be in, just because of the financial constraints of D3 and kind of finding investors and things like that for the 125K. And I've known the Heartfire guys since we played them back in Dayton a couple years ago. And we've kind of stayed in touch, just kind of like same with Matt Mitchell of Everline Drive or now Davis Steele. And we kind of all have this family and, they reached out and, I spoke with kind of everybody, all the parties of Elite Nation and Heartfire and Shine, and it all kind of worked out that we all had the same vision. And, like last year's run was unbelievable. And there's no doubt we'll be back sometime. Don't know when. And the credit to my staff, Jay Harris and David Clark on being coaching staff of the year, because I consider it coaching staff of the year. And it was just, an honor to kind of like be brought on board with Heartfire and have the opportunity there. And, we are D3 is kind of just chugging on its own over there, and we're still kind of doing our own thing there. But, I'm really excited to be back in, TBT this year and have an opportunity to work with some new players and things on those lines. And I love my guys. And I look forward to kind of connecting with the new team too, as well.
Yeah, speaking of that new team, look at this roster. This is pretty impressive. So I understand that you're having a little bit of a role in roster building, but obviously since you're coming to a roster that has some established players, Heartfire and Elite both have some nice players to pick from. So how has the roster building worked out now that you're joining a sort of a new, somewhat established team?
Yeah, the three groups, Mark and Ron from Heartfire, Neb from Shine, Neith and Mo from Elite Nation. They've been spearheading the roster efforts, and they've been really open to kind of what I like to see. as far as the team goes, and just knowing kind of what works in TBT with my experiences and my philosophies and what we can do. And they've been doing a great job of going out and getting it. Like Elijah Thomas, I played against when he was with Stars of Stores last year, and he had a great game against us. Eric Washington was on Heartfire, and Desi Washington, I know from his Seton Hall days and things on those lines. So it's a very talented roster that's only going to get, quite frankly, more and more talented, because the 5 that are missing here are also pretty studly as well. So we will be rolling with a roster of 15.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the rosters fill out, over the next 3 weeks, and I think the 5 hopefully are going to be kind of some big splashes. But the one thing I did want to mention, you mentioned it twice already, is what it takes to get a kind of mercenary team into the TBT. So we've got 3 programs coming together with Heartfire, Elite Nation, which has good history, and then you mentioned the Shine, and as we talked about some of the other non-alumni teams, and you mentioned the roster coming. The one thing that was a little surprising to me, and that's why I can't wait to see the next 5, is a lot of the similar players, whether it's Heartfire, whether it's Davis Steele, the Mecca. Seems like a lot of folks familiar with TBT, so it seems like there's a lot of value and emphasis placed on the known entity, the folks that have been there before, versus going outside and kind of getting out of that TBT circle. I don't know if that's intentional or unintentional.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think there's obviously we have familiarity, like for instance with a player like Craig Sword and what he can do, and Shine has familiarity. Marquez Lewis, Kez. Obviously Elite Nation has familiarity with Desi, and obviously the nature of TBT is it's its own beast, and this year is going to be even different because of the 2 different sides and us playing in Vegas and not having to play in front of a home college crowd, and the pool play is going to be different too as well, or however they set it up.
There you go. Yeah, that's the thing. Because
or any crowd, you won't have to worry about the college crowd. So this is known. So and if you notice on the TBT website, it does say it's a made for TV event, and so it will be basically family and friends of the team attending. So that's going to be interesting to see how they hype that.
I know, like the crowds, but. Me and the D3 boys, we're used to not having crowds, so so I'm used to it. Obviously, with our guys at Heartfire, there's some heavy hitters, and they played really high octane overseas, where they're like lighting like the flares in the stands and that you see. But no, like these guys are all professionals. But I selfishly would love press, aka you guys. I would love fans. I just think, but maybe they have a bigger vision for this than I can comprehend. So
they're also.
I'm gonna wait.
There might be the venue. So we did a little bit of research. The venue, it was like you guys are playing at the M Resorts, which was a really nice place. But I think they're holding it in this sort of Quonset hut kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So my thinking is they have seating for like concerts, but not for basketball generally. I think it's not really set up for that very easily. So it'd be a question. This might just be one of those trial balloons where this becomes a regular thing. I'm just conjecture. I'm guessing, but I'm assuming the Mercs in Vegas is probably going to be a continuing thing. Would be my guess. And then
we stayed at a Holiday Inn in Syracuse, so like the M sounds like phenomenal. So
fantastic. It should be nice. Have you guys decided that's where you're staying? By the way, well, who knows? That's not even. That's inside baseball. Who cares? So the key thing about this though, so you got 5 spots left. So we had mentioned possibly a former Chinese Basketball Association MVP at one point. Is he, without naming names, is that still in consideration?
Yes, that's still in consideration for sure.
Excellent. That would be really fun to see. Okay, so also it's 6 teams on part. So it says 6 teams on parts website, but now it's going back to 8 in other parts. Charles and I are actually wondering if TBT is trying to get this back up to 8. But either way, you're assuming pool play. You haven't heard the actual official format yet, correct?
No, I haven't heard it. they obviously TBT has done a great job of like having like a plan to the plan, and if the plan doesn't work, then they have another plan.
Sure.
If you remember, like back in the COVID year, like they had a plan. They were the first ones to do the bubble before the bubble was a bubble. So, like, I think it will be pool play, and then kind of bracket it out, and we'll kind of see what's up there.
About the bubble, people, Reg, do you remember the one time we've had a beer in person?
Yes.
It was
in my
outside
garage.
during COVID. It was in garage. It was during
And a lot
COVID.
of stouts. We had a lot of stouts.
Yeah, a lot of stouts. We had like 3 stouts at your house. And
Yeah.
we were in your garage because it was still during COVID. And
Yes.
I'm like, I'm not coming in.
Those are crazy
That's
times.
just the memories you get from this experience. All right, so we got one other guest. We don't want to hold you on too long. So first of all, Charge, any other real questions you should ask Reg? Because Reg, you have to come back on for a real show. This is a throw together. This is not
no, for
release
sure. I
you
just
from
want to
your
say hi to
fucking-
you guys. I missed you.
Well, yeah, great to hear.
Yeah, I
from you, but
appreciate
also-
you.
Yeah.
Good.
Charge, any main questions for Reg?
No, I don't want to hit him with because I want to know the other 5 players on the roster, and he's not going to give that up today. I'm sure because I'm intrigued with the roster building that's going on right now.
It's a
between
good
the
roster.
teams and I won't go down a rabbit hole on the pool play. So he planted that seed. We'll probably talk about it a little later when we get to the non-alumni. But no, it's always a pleasure talking basketball, especially D3 basketball.
I will say this though: the players, they're going to be really training camp's going to be fun. Training camp's going to be real fun.
How
That's going
far
to
in
be like
advance are you
Hunger
doing
Games
training
for
camp?
basketball.
How far in advance are you doing training camp? You're not getting there the day before. When does camp start for Hardfire, you think, roughly?
I'm fine with telling it. We're like week prior, like we always do.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. Yeah.
Week prior, like we always do, and I've had just like what I do with like D3. Talking with the players, they're super engaged. They're super engaged, just like my D3 guys, and the opportunities like that TBT created for my D3 guys. My goal is the same for the Heartfire Elite guys. Like our goal is to try and get better contracts. I think. I think we're getting a little bit overshadowed because of the alumni teams. There's some heavy hitters on the alumni squad. So I hope we get to play my boys in Syracuse. I really would
I'll
like
see you there. That's
That
the
would-
one
that would be
location.
a fun
If
rematch
the finals in
again.
Syracuse, I will be there. That's I will
I
guarantee you.
still remember a certain Hall of Fame coach not shaking my hand after the game. So
On that note, Reg, let's talk soon. Always a pleasure. Coach Reg, the
Absolutely,
coach
boys.
of
Hey, take care, everybody.
D3.
I really appreciate all that you do for both Heartfire Elite, We Are D3. Love you guys. Have a good night.
Love you,
Appreciate
Reg.
you.
Take care, man.
Take care, man.
All right, that was Coach Reg of Heartfire Elite. That's a crazy story that they've got them coming through. It's wild. So, Charge, we don't like to keep our guests waiting. We can ramble on a little bit, but we do have one other guest who is planned, and actually they brought both sides of a team. So we'll get into the actual roster building in a bit with the other teams, but let's talk a little bit. Oh, wow, they just had an ad, too. This will be interesting. Okay, so Charge. We've had a lot of guests on, but we tend to also go a lot with the sort of the merch. That's sort of our brand is the non-alumni brands, mainly because we love the event, and the alumni teams, because they have a built-in following, built-in press, they get love. Like, the Syracuse team's going to get love, and they should. They're a great team. Kentucky, Louisville, historic rivalry. Wichita State is a great fan base. They're going to get the love, and they deserve every bit of it. But these other teams have helped create the story in the backbone of TBT, the soul of it, so to speak. So, a lot we've seen, the story we've had a lot this year is teams combining, right, Charge? There's been, because of financial and spots reducing, there's been teams combining. Now, there were between 6 and 8 spots in Vegas. The website argues with itself, so we're not going to tell them which one it is. But right now, there are 6 teams in TBT's mercenary bracket. And the last ad was, do you remember who the last ad was?
The last ad was Red Rose War Ready. So I got to get that full name. It's a mouthful, but I'm excited about this team.
Well, do you want to talk to the people who helped build it, see how excited they are too?
Absolutely. And I know this one. This wasn't a secret to me. And I can't see them, and they're probably in the right-hand part of the screen like you tell me they are.
We got two. So we have GM Matt Machella, and we have GM Lucas Morrison. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Yeah, Matt's already practicing making some money. I saw his social media this weekend. He was out there just bills everywhere, so he's ready to make more.
Yep. We had a 15K tournament this weekend, so we got
How'd it go?
That one.
You win?
Yep.
Oh no, he had money everywhere. He had up and down the arm. I mean, they're throwing money everywhere. It was insane.
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny. I do most of the production, so Charge does the social media, so that's kind of funny. So you won 15. That's awesome. That's great. So guys, and I'll put this to Lucas first, actually, because we've had both of you on the show, and it's great to see you both. Lucas, how did this partnership come together?
So this really kind of was a random partnership that kind of just formed naturally. And I would say, it really got started, and it was a situation where, hey, we don't think TBT is going to work out this year. And then a situation, well, maybe it'll work, and then maybe it won't work. And then the door got open and closed so many times. But we're officially in now. And like you were talking about that 15K tournament, Coach M and I flew down to Tampa to meet Matt and to meet some of the guys who were at the 15K tournament, got to see them win 15 grand. It ended up, we had talked to another team previously about partnering. Not going to mention names, but one of their players said our players weren't good enough. So yeah, that goes.
That's a nice bulletin board thing to put up at the resort.
So, and this partnership feels a lot more natural than that one did anyway. So everything worked out.
I love some good bulletin board material. So Charge, this is interesting. So, I mean, what do you think here? This is pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, I think it's cool how, and I don't know if you guys reach out to each other. I know TBT was trying to connect some teams just to, make it happen. But to kind of both of you guys, it sounds like thought the door was completely shut and to kind of resurrect it from that. And you're both kind of live and breathe TBT in recent years. So is pretty cool. And then the other name that I see on the roster, your one roster name right now is DRC. So I still don't think he's missed a shot in TBT history and the handful he's taken. And so he's kind of a hidden gem. So how involved is DRC with this? Are they officially part of the group, or is that more for his hobby? He wants to be involved with TBT because he's been so many years.
Good, Lucas.
DRC is something that just kind of brought up as an idea, but it not like I would say 1%, 99% of it got done while we were in Tampa, because DRC was also at this $15,000 tournament. Got to meet DRC, great guy.
We lost you, Lucas. Lost your.
No, he's back.
Okay, cool.
You back? Yeah. But we lost his audio.
We can read Lucas's lips, though. He's saying good things. Go ahead, Matt.
No, but they all came down to the 15K tournament. DRC was here, and like you said, this is a good hobby for him where he likes it. Very easy guy to work with. So it kind of just all worked out where they got to have a good talk with him. He was interested, and it all combined. And he doesn't have high demands or anything like that. He just wants to hoop a little bit.
Well, I like this too because
you guys hear me now?
You may hear you.
Yeah,
I like
I'm going to plug the merch real quick. There is DRC Red Rose War Ready merch. So make sure to go to redrosewarready.myshopify, I want to say. And there's DRC X Red Rose War Ready merch out right now.
That's
sweet. I gotta say, it wouldn't be a TBT if Matt wasn't pimping features. Nobody does the fundraising game better than Matt, and if he couldn't raise enough on his own to be in TBT, dear Lord. So looking forward to seeing the merch.
What's the website again?
I'm pulling it up right now as we speak.
While he pulls up the website, Matt, talking about roster building, you've got the Auburn guys with War Ready. You've got Red Roses surprisingly won quite a few games. They've actually done very well in TBT. Written off pretty early. They've done very well. And, of course, DRC means you might have some of the DRC TNT type guys. So that's a really big roster pool to pull from. Is that exciting to have that sort of access to players with the three forces combined?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll obviously all talk about, who we're going to bring and stuff, Obviously, we just announced Wendell Green's back, so that's obviously a big addition for us. We won't get too in depth of who else we're bringing yet. We'll let it
Don't get ahead of things. Sure.
but I think the combination of guys that everyone's going to bring could really work out well, and then hopefully we start winning more, and we get a whole Auburn fan base supporting us again, and then Red Rose fans, DRC fans, whoever. Maybe we get all of Las Vegas behind us. You never know.
Well, knowing so we've all met people before. Now, Matt Michello, who people who might not know this, is I met Matt. Charles and I both met Matt the first time. I think the very first one we attended, which was in West Virginia, and War Ready. I think you went out the first round that year. Actually, was that Tampa? Was that War Tampa or was that Tampa 2020?
So, I think our first year. I think you said you were at the game where we played VCU, correct? Or no?
No, that wasn't that. Maybe it was. All I know
I think
is
the first
I saw
time
you
we
afterwards.
really met was the War Ready year. I think you guys were there when we hit the game-winning shot. No.
No, my first memory of you is meeting at the hotel, hearing you had lost, and you're going straight to the casino. That's so.
Yeah.
The point I was getting to is you're a dangerous man in Vegas. Are you a craps guy, a blackjack guy? What's your thing?
Blackjack.
Oh my God, Lucas! Make sure he doesn't stay at the tables too
How
long.
did I not know this information?
Yeah, sorry to rat out your co-GM, but Matt is my understanding is a slightly degenerate gambler. Are your legs broken? Or are they working?
Yeah, they're working. I got them both right here.
That's good. No, it'll be fun. I mean, Matt Michello in Vegas is a dangerous man. But yeah, so the Auburn fan base, you guys have a lot of collective fan bases, and that will be an interesting thing because Charge, with all the merch, the fan bases are kind of a nebulous thing. Like having a built-in fan base kind of helps them with fundraising, also helps them with the vibes, right?
Yeah, no, I think especially on the social media side, just to get that extra hype. The paid players are active on there; they see what is being said, and so I think as they build their new brand and rally that crew, that we're ready. Whether they got who knows what the final number is going to be, 3, 4 guys, 2 guys, 7 guys. It doesn't matter. The we're ready fan base is pretty loyal, and they're going to rally behind the team. But that's the cool part of kind of this merger is you get the best of the best and the players that fit the culture of the new brand, and it's going to be something to see.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun, definitely. And Lucas, Coach M is coaching, right? Is that the deal that she's the coach?
Yes.
Okay.
Wanted to do a public announcement about that, the winningest female head coach in TBT history. But
don't worry, no one watches the show anyway. She'll make a public announcement. No one's going to hear it from us anyway.
Mhm.
No, I wouldn't even let that stop you from making the announcement. Trust me, this would be watched.
Yeah, no, we're good. We paid for the graphic already, so we better make a graphic announcement.
Well, it's not official yet. Once announced, it's official. It's an official thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so this is interesting. So, what have you guys heard about the venue? Not the venue, the format. Is it going to be pool play? Do you guys know yet? Is it still a black box in an airplane kind of thing?
I haven't heard too much yet.
show up with your sneakers.
July 22nd. That's what I've been told.
Yeah, show up with your sneakers and a basketball and be ready to play.
Yeah, it's got to be pool play though. I think that's the way they're leaning. I don't see any way around it.
You can't weigh a bracket with 2 buys. You can't do a 2-buy
teams in
bracket
each pod, and the top 2 advance. But I guess the interesting thing is before this all went down, it was basically the first 3 people that paid were going to get to pick their opponent. So I'm assuming they're going to go to some type of random draw, or are they still going to maybe let each team pick somebody that they don't want? So whoever paid first, I don't want Red Rose War Ready because I'm afraid of those guys. So
everybody's trying to avoid Baron Davis.
I have a feeling Matt knows. He looked awfully sneaky over there when I made that statement. So I think you know, and you're sworn to secrecy not to say how this is going down quite yet.
No, I'm assuming because they did say at the beginning, when we first started this, if you're one of the first teams, you would get to pick and choose who you play. Which, to me, we're the last team that paid, so obviously we don't get to pick. So I think whoever picks us, will get to know that what they think of us, you know what I mean? So we'll kind of see how that all goes. Yeah, there's the beautiful merch.
I think it's going to be, just a lot of parity looking at the rosters. I'm sure you guys have already started to look at it, and that is some nice merch too. Is there a branded Red Rose War Ready red suit that people can buy on the streets? Or
Lucas will look good in that suit in Vegas. You'll look like, we'll come back to but this is so real quick. The website is, we'll read it again. It is Red Rose War Ready, one word, .myshopify.com. Again, that's Red Rose War Ready, one word, .myshopify.com. This is some nice merch, actually. I like that a lot, actually. Yeah, some good stuff,
Lucas
actually.
is trying to get me in an all-orange suit. What do you think of that, Hainer?
What's up?
He's trying to get me in an all-orange suit. What do you think of that?
oh, I think you pull it off well, man.
I prefer. I'm going to let Charge's comment stand.
Wait till Matt pulls up in the orange and I'm in the navy blue. We're representing Auburn.
Oh, there you go.
Ready.
I'm not going to. Yeah.
Pin a rose on there and keep the branding though. Can't lose that.
I mean, let me see. 2 guys in suits in Vegas. I mean, I'm not saying it's this. I'm not saying it's the movie Swingers. I'm not saying it's these 2 guys. The funny part is, I'm pretty sure both of you are too young to have even seen that movie. Is the funny part.
I've never seen
that one. Of course you've
Never seen that movie.
Because I'm a million years old. Charge, you've seen it, right?
Many moons ago. I couldn't tell you what it was about, but yeah, I mean, that was way back in the day for us old folks.
Yeah, I feel very old now. Yeah, this could be. The question is who's who. I'm gonna go with. I'm thinking Matt is gonna be Favreau, and Lucas can be Vince Vaughn. That's my thinking. I think the general shapes, right?
Oh God,
that'd be a good look. That could work actually. That's we're gonna definitely come back to that image at some point when you have on for a full show. Okay, gentlemen, we're actually gonna get you guys on for a full show once roster's done. We're gonna do all the Mercs teams, so we're not done with you guys fully, but we might kind of wrap this up tonight. Okay. Charge, any big questions for these guys as they write stuff come by?
No, I can't wait to get them on their full roster. What's your roster release schedule? What can we expect from? Excitement.
We have one more player that we'll announce tomorrow. That's one of our returners. Then we got some juicy player for next week. Will leak no names, but just a little detail. Do have a former TBT leading scorer joining the team.
Oh,
so
that's interesting.
We'll see that soon, hopefully.
Yeah. So tomorrow's one of your Red Rose guys. So we got Wendell Green today, and we'll get Maurice Watson or Kennedy tomorrow.
Let's say it's Watson.
It is neither of them.
Really?
But,
okay.
Really?
But we got some interesting people in the works. So stay tuned.
Yeah. And that's what we talked about all along with this. Me and Hainer before we started the show is that the player pool of available players is massive. It is bigger than it has been before. I know in the past players were reaching out to GMs, even in the 64 team, where back in the day when you had to fight your way in, it's like, oh, you guys got in, I want to be on your team. And so I'm sure now that you're official, now that you're announced, some of the people who love TBT, who's played in it, knowing they can make a little more money, I'm sure you'll get some knocks on your door to see if you have room out there. So that's interesting. So
absolutely.
We shall see how it builds. Very mysterious.
Gentlemen, thanks for coming. Matt Machella, Lucas Morrison, Red Rose War Ready. Can't wait to see you guys in Vegas. Hope you guys kick some ass.
I hope to see you in Vegas.
As of now, press isn't allowed, but if more
I got
people
a friends and family ticket for both of you guys.
Yeah. I was 50-50 before, but we will hit you. I'll hit you up for sure if we go down that route.
We'll talk. So, I mean, the thing is, because we're pressed, I don't think we're supposed to go as friends and family. I don't know. We'll talk to you. Don't worry.
More than I talk.
We spent $125,000. They can't tell us who we can and cannot bring.
Okay, we'll put a pin in that conversation. We'll come back to it. Okay, gentlemen, though, thanks for coming on. We'll talk to you guys once the roster's released about doing a full team preview. Thanks for being guests. Matt Michello, War Ready. Lucas Morrison, Red Rose Thunder, combined as Red Rose War Ready. Can't wait to see you guys play.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. Appreciate you.
See you soon. Yeah, this is the teams combining thing is interesting, honestly.
Yeah, that's the only way you can make it work. It's just pretty wild. 100, and you heard him say at the end, 125,000 dollars to get the buy-in on this thing, which is just absolutely massive. They did tease the last teams were going to be up at 175 or 200, and so I with the openings are going to 6, I'm sure they capped it at 125. But that's the kind of money you're looking for to get in here. So it's wild.
Yeah, to get into TBT, give us a down payment on a mansion. It's insane. Okay, so Matt Mitchell said, "I'm on vacation with the fam. Just saw us live. We'll have to watch the replay. Happy to see Michelle back in it. Matt, we'll have you on very soon too." Charge real quick while we take off Matt's comment real quick, because obviously it's great to have Matt watching. It's awesome that.
While you're scrolling, I'm excited about Red Rose War Ready. Those are just good people. I mean, they're good people. They're going to have, I think, good culture fits, and who are have something to prove.
And Matt Michello will almost certainly lose at least $1,000 at the casinos. That's the best part. Like, he's absolutely.
He may walk home with $2 million. $2 million. He's going to be a winner this time out.
That's the thing. He might. What's really funny about that too is, by the way, I think the style guide this year, since we put up Matt Mitchell's comment, I think we should call it Eberline Drive presented by Davis Steele, at least sometimes, just for a joke. So Eberline Drive presented by Davis Steele. GM Matt Mitchell had the comment about being on vacation. Okay, let's get back to the teams real quick, and we'll scoop this fast as we're already kind of running low on time. So let's talk a little bit. We'll stop on the teams we find more interesting to start. And I want to go to Boeheim's Army real quick. Not just for the Seton Hall, they're fun. We try to get them on the show. They're welcome. They're welcome to be on the show, and also they have a nice roster coming up. I want to talk a little bit about Boeheim's Army, because this is a story actually. So they have 4 players here, and they're going to add more. I will not say a name, but I will say that I know one of their mercs, and they have no mercs yet. One of their mercs is an all TBT level player. He did not win all TBT, but he is at that level, and it's a high level score. So they definitely are going to have some backcourt punch that's not on the website yet that I'm actually really excited about seeing in Syracuse. But Charge, the Wes Johnson thing is a funny story. Why is Wes Johnson an interesting story?
Because he has the same name as the guy from Bradley who stormed the court back in TBT back in the day. As soon as I saw the post, I'm like, oh, Wes Johnson, he's the Bradley guy. But no, the other Wes Johnson, the other guy's probably more famous in TBT circles, but this Wes Johnson, obviously alumni, but also playing in the Big Three right now. And so I know we did a little work trying to scrub the Big Three rosters and the schedule. And so you found a couple things interesting in there.
Yeah, the main thing, and this is going to come up a little bit more as it develops, but so the schedule for the Big Three, Week 6, the Big Three is playing in Detroit and Houston. And we're just looking at the website right now, and you can see that on the 23rd, these teams are playing. Now, the LA Riot has a few players, but the key thing is the triplets. See the triplets there. The triplets, Wes Johnson plays for the triplets. And they have a game, as per the Big Three schedule, on Thursday the 23rd. Now, if you go back to Boeheim's Army and the tickets, you will see that Boeheim's Army also has a game on the 23rd. So that becomes a bit of an issue. Like, what happens with that? So it gets to the larger situation of the Big Three players. Are they allowed to play it? And we talked about the fact that Montrezl Harrell did the double last year. Is it negotiated? Beasley's already, not only is he playing TBT, he's in the Big Three. He was suspended already for getting in a fight, which is, not terribly surprising behavior for Michael Beasley. So there is always the Big Three TBT divide. What does that mean for a player like Wes Johnson? That's the key thing. I mean, this is going to be a developing story. Wes Johnson is the first of many people will be discussing this. Now, the key thing is most of the Big Three that week is on Sunday. And Sunday is currently a dead day for the alumni side of the bracket. The alumni end up on Friday, it looks like. And I think I have this right. The semis are on that Monday. So you can play a Sunday Big Three game, get on a plane, and easily be at your semifinal game on Monday. It shouldn't even be that big of a deal. You fly commercially, you get your Delta miles, not a problem. But the B thing is, Wes Johnson, it's going to be impossible for him to play those games. So that becomes a situation. Does Boeheim's Army counteract that with a certain guy that can play it instead? What does that mean for Game 2 and potentially Game 3 with the Army? It could be a pretty interesting thing, and that's the story's going to come up a bit. Also, there's not a lot of players in this so far. I mean, is Chris McCullough going to play? Where's the size coming from? That's one thing. And also, one thing I'd love to see is, Charge, this is a question I have for you. Do you see this being a year where you get the NIL where a college player actually plays in TBT? Like I know Green Bay tried last year. Are you going to see a college player playing TBT this year? An active college player?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Well, you didn't tee me up for that one. I think if it's possible, it will happen. Like I'm not familiar enough with all the NIL rules, and we've
There
had,
aren't any.
college. I can't remember the one. We did have a college player play a year or two ago. I can't remember the kid's name, but I think if it's possible and it's the right situation, you could see it. But yeah, I guess that's to be determined. And I think that's the mystery. We're only 3 weeks out, 24 days, whatever the number of days out. And so some of these things probably need to be moving real quick. And the rosters, I haven't seen any rules, but I think people can keep the rosters a lot closer to their internal kind of timeline and when they want to release names. And so obviously all the alumni teams have sticking primarily with their alumni announcements. And, I think Syracuse, which you called them out for not being a really big alumni team earlier in show one, they're going to be heavy alumni. Wouldn't they have to be? But they're bringing in the right people, and it's going to be a solid team. But yeah, I'm not sure on the NIL. I'm just rambling now because
what I would say.
Spinning.
And if I'm Sean Belby, by the way, real quick, Sean Belby was the guy who posted the thing about us making that joke, and Sean's great. Congratulations to Sean, though, because he also got a full-time gig. He is part of the Syracuse Orange men's coaching support staff now. He has a job with the school,
That's awesome.
I believe in the video department. So definitely his career's moving up. He's been with the Texas Legends. He's done a lot of skills training, so it's the logical next step for Sean Belby. So congrats to him. But the thing that I'm fascinated by is,
did you say he was with the Texas Legends?
At one point, he was with Texas Legends, yeah. Unless I'm getting this wrong, which I get things wrong all the time, so I might be missing.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I get to a few Legend games here and there. I went to the Charge one down there last year. Yeah, Malcolm Farmer's good people.
If I'm the Army, I'm calling Carmelo Anthony, because his son plays for Syracuse. I'm saying, I have an idea. Carmelo, you're retired, but you can still shoot from the elbow on one leg, even if you can't move. You can still put 20 up in this game. You want to play with your son? I have a way for you to do it. That's the call I'm making if I'm Sean Belby. Like, hey, listen, Carmelo, what do you want to do tonight? Like, do you want to go to Syracuse and get some running, get some cardio, jack up some shots, and do it with your son while wearing the old colors? Would that be fun for you? There's a 99% chance he says no, but it's a call you still maybe make. I mean, Sean Belby's listening to this thinking I'm an idiot, but still a call I make personally. I think that'd be a really interesting thing. Okay, we gotta get out of here because we're taking up too much time. Okay, a couple tags real quick. Purple Rain is short on roster right now. There's only a couple guys. One of them, Michael Beasley, and I say this with all respect because he's a great player, might be the most insane person ever playing TBT. I mean that with both respect and affection. I love Michael Beasley. I love his shtick. I love the fact he comes off as insane. I think it's great. So I think this is, without a doubt, the biggest get in TBT. I think he's hilarious. I think that video he did last year with Lance Stevenson was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. So the idea of Beasley playing TBT makes me extremely happy. Like, it's one of the biggest. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I want it to happen because he's declared, but I think he's going to show up. But I've been hurt before, Charge. I've had my feelings hurt before. You think it's a low chance? He committed. He says he's going to.
I believe it's a low chance. I don't buy it. I just can't rally behind it. I hope I'm wrong because I'm with you. God, I mean, that'd be amazing to see. I'm sure that would be one of the premier games that they televise that day on the schedule. But I just don't see it happening. Prove me wrong. But
trust Michael Beasley. Who can you trust? Right? I mean, okay. So Michael Beasley. We'll see if he shows. I think he shows. Well, let's just skip the Kansas teams. I still have PSDD from them losing and beating Memphis in 2008. Still too soon. The Shocks were the other team that doesn't have a ton of alumni. But look at this. They're all alumni except for one guy now. They got 7.
Two. Yeah, they got 5.
Two. Yeah, got two. 6 alumni though. They got 6 alumni. That's really good.
But the exercise I did earlier in the year when I was kind of comparing Wichita to Boeheims is I want minutes played. Once you get right down to it, who's playing on these teams? And I can't remember. I think Boeheims was at 60% last year, and Wichita I think was down near 40% playing time by the alumni team. So, I mean, they look good. I love obviously for different reasons. Dexter Dennis joining the squad. The guy's been just dominant NBA talent, and so I thought that was kind of the coolest thing to see. They have some of their kind of legends who've been in the TBT, and then starting to have people like Dexter Dennis and to the mix is just really going to elevate that team. So I'm excited about their roster construction right now. And then we have to assume Keene's going to be back. I don't know.
I was going to say who's missing. We tee that up. I was going to say who's missing, and Marcus Keene's not there yet.
But
so.
this is alumni as it gets, and then you still got two more non-alumni that you can add to it, in addition to Woodard and Marcos Santos Silva. So it's going to be a good squad.
Okay,
and there'll be alumni.
Yeah, it'll be alumni. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the other side of the bracket. Now, I personally, and we're not going to belabor this point, I hope we find a way to get to Vegas. I don't think we're going to, though. But I find this more interesting. Let's pour one out for Baron Davis, though, right? That's
Baron Davis, yeah, the big IO or whatever his
yeah. I don't see it now. Maybe that's just a procedural thing, but I don't see him here. Black Sheep Boys, not much to know about them yet.
They're sure in a 7th spot there. I mean, I suppose that team can resurface. I don't know what they'll do with an odd number, but
16 teams. See, there's 16 teams. And then
the main page shows 14.
Yeah, it says 14. So they're just.
I think you're either going to have 14 or 15, but yeah, it should be interesting. I was surprised to see them drop out because that was kind of the original. Two announcements was D. Gordon's team and Baron Davis's team, and so for them to back out or complications was a little surprising.
We also don't know officially if they're out. I mean, they're on the website that we're guessing probably correctly that they're not in, but we've been wrong before. The website's been wrong before. These things happen. So can you identify a favorite? You think, like, how would you seed this? Like, if you're doing the pools, would you seed it? How would you do this? We don't have to do this each team, but like, would you rank them? Like, would you pick the top 2? Like, do like the World Cup does and do like pools, like top two, and then kind of like do a snake draft?
Yeah, how would I rank them? I mean, Davis Steele, formerly Eberline, obviously made the great run last year, great history.
Yeah.
Into TBT, their core roster based on their initial announcements have been, same guys who took them deep before. So I think Davis Steele right now would have to be the team to beat. I thought where the Mecca, which is a kind of a cheaters Mecca combo. I thought this team would be.
Go ahead and say it. We know you're a fan. Just get it out of the way.
I'm a fan of the entire team, and Casper Ware just a little bit just gets it done. So yeah. But I thought this, and I made this statement to Reg. I thought the rosters would look a little bit different this year, but once again, we got kind of experienced TBT guys, tried and true, that played in it, know what it takes to kind of make a run. And so I do like the Mecca a lot. Gotham City, Red Rose Board.
I think if I'm doing this, I do a snake draft. I take Davis. All I'm making sure is Davis, Steele, and Heartfire Elite are on separate sides. That's the first thing I'm doing. I'm making sure those guys are on the same side. So I'm going to put those two at the top. And then I'm going to basically pair War Ready against the Mecca and have them separate, and then have Gotham City and Black Sheep be the third line. And that would be my 2 groups, I think. That's what I would do.
Yeah, the wild card is the Black Sheep. We have no idea what's on that team.
Yeah, you click on their page, it just says, enter a team. So,
They're
it might just mean they're close to the vest. It might just mean they're just figuring it out. I mean, there's, we don't want to conjecture. We don't know.
It's impossible to say. Impossible, but yeah, Davis Steele's got the lead.
Okay, so let's leave on this. We've talked a decent amount. Let's leave on this. Couple things. One thing I want to ask you about, and I'll ask you. The Mercs might be an advantage because while I'm bummed we're not going, they don't have to deal with press, crowds, anything. They can just play. And also, they're in a controlled environment where they're walking from their hotel rooms to like basically an on-site court. So this is an extremely controlled environment and an extremely simple, a hard but simple task. So do you think the Merc champ will be at more of an advantage than the alumni champ getting through at least?
I don't think once you get that deep in the tournament it will be. I think if you compare roster to roster at the beginning, I think you're gonna say there's some Merc teams that would maybe win the alumni side or make a run because they do have that open. But I still, like I said, am surprised we're not seeing different names, different talent than we're seeing on the non-alumni right now. I think the key to the alumni side is how you use those 4 non-alumni roster spots. Those are critical. You only get 4, and the trick's going to be finding the right culture fit. So there's this guy that Bayheims has. Is he the right fit for Bayheims? And we tend to disagree on this.
That is an interesting question. Well, it's funny. I've talked to a couple of people about the player in question. And he's a lightning bolt. He's a great player, but does he fit what they're trying to do? They're going to find out. I think it'll work, but yeah, it's a fair question to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. So the thing I find fascinating is the clock also. So for example, the alumni teams start much earlier. The Mercs don't start till the 22nd. Alumni teams are almost done by the 22nd. They've all played 1, mostly 2 games at that point. Some have played maybe teams have already been eliminated at that point. Plus, with the summer league schedule, summer league ends on the 19th. Which means there's a possibility, like a guy like a smart, crafty operator like Jake Hirschman could go to Summer League, scout there, and literally say, "Hey, we're already here. Come hang out with us for a week and try to win $2 million." Like there could be some. I don't know what the roster lock dates are for TBT because as usual, it's all a little bit up in the air. We don't know. We're kind of operating black box, but like I could see a guy putting up 20. For the Sacramento Kings in a semifinal game, getting bounced, and then just taking a cab straight to M Resorts and getting in a room and putting on a David Steele jersey and getting right out there. So I think the Vegas teams have an advantage of possibly they can recruit right out of Summer League, which is kind of interesting. And also, I think because
hopefully they'll publish some more detail on the roster locks and all that. And I guess we'll tease you. You have a very good interview coming up next week, so maybe we'll get some more answers to the questions we all have.
Yeah, we'll see if I get any answers. I usually don't. Okay, so Charge, I guess the last thought is if you had to pick a winning team with complete lack of information we have, who's winning this thing? Who at this point in the game? Who's your alumni champion? Who's your Merc champion? Who's your overall champion? And again, this is just vibes at this point, so you can totally make it up. That's what we'll leave on, I think. Unless you got something else you want to talk about.
Yeah, I'll pick a couple just because that's how I am. But I like DeVille and Bayheim so far. I was high on Bayheims last year. I'm going to be high on Bayheims again this year. But I think right now between DeVille and Bayheims, I think they're the strongest look. And then I think Davis Steele right now is the clear favorite. And this is one where I'm looking forward to seeing the teams fill out. Red Rose War ready. If some of the players they're touting, so it's a little too early with those holes there. But so I'm just gonna pick one there and go Davis Steele on the non-alumni side.
What's really and who do you think wins, the alumni or the Merc?
Oh gosh, I think you're going to go with the alumni. It's going to be a home game for them. I mean, imagine whatever team hosts this final between the alumni and the non-alumni team, they're going to sell out. It's going to be a absolute madhouse. But I guess that's why we play the games. We've seen some small schools upset the Syracuses of the world in the TBT in the past and on their home floor. But I think it's just going to be chaos. I think you saw that with Wichita last year, just a crazy crowd. And so I think you have to give a slight edge to the alumni for the home court.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call it. And by the way, it's no disrespect because I think because there's so few teams, they're all good. So if I'm saying I pick these teams, I'm not picking against the other 12 teams. They're all good. I'm going to call Davis over Bayheims in Syracuse. I'm going to call Davis wins their title finally. Eberline Drive, sponsored and presented by Davis Steele, gets the title over Bayheims on August 2nd. In Syracuse, that's I'm calling at least.
I Davis Steele obviously a great sponsor for them, but I think TBT fans are going to have a tough time not referring to them as Eberline Drives. I think we're going to just
no one takes us seriously, so we can call them whatever we want. I think the Zoom the TBT style guide says Eberline Drive presented by Davis Steele, but we're hoping to have a Davis Steele guys on. So I think what they're doing is really interesting. I think they're trying to get into sports, so. I think they're going to be a really good sponsor. I'm really excited about their partnership with Matt and Jake. I think it's going to be a really fun partnership, too. Okay, Charge, any closing thoughts, or you want to go back to watching the draft?
No. It's round 2, so I got my fill yesterday. So whatever happens in round 2, I'll read it in the papers tomorrow.
Fair enough. All right, guys. Well, this is what we know about TBT now. We'll get you more information as we know it. It's always a pleasure. Charge, thanks for being a great co-host as always. And stay on TikTok for a couple minutes after. And this has been Zoom the TBT. And we scrubbed the list. We got you the information. And we're signing off.
Hope you enjoyed listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Twitter, and give us your money.